Well, here we are in supposedly the most haunted city in Britain, Derby. We're at the old jailhouse where many, many convicts came through and were executed. I'm sitting in front of the gallows here, although I must say not the original gallows. There were two execution sites in Derby, of which one was housed at the front of this building, and apparently many people are buried here in the gardens. So the expectations are high as the team comes in and sets up for the investigation. What we would expect over the course of the week is a lot of malevolent spirits from a place that housed nothing but evil, pain and torture. So I think we could be in for a good week. Supposed paranormal activity where people have seen things. Even the guy that does the ghost tours, who believed most of it was myth and legend, saw something himself in here as well. So what we've tried to do is set the mini cameras up in the areas where things have been seen in the past. And when the clairvoyants come round tomorrow, if they feel there's other places where there's possible paranormal activity, we may move some of the cameras. But at the moment we've put the cameras based on where they've been seen in the past.
We're now entering the jail. This is one of the corridors that led right from the front through to the back. And as we get to this part here, we're standing in the central corridor of the old jail. These are the basement dungeons, the high security cells that are still preserved. And the corridor stretches, as you can see, right the way along here, through that wall, and continues 3 times as big as what we're in. And on the right-hand side and the left-hand side of us, all the way along, you can see the prison doors, and of course behind them, the prison cells. And grim sights inside. Of course, this is one of the cells. This is a debtor's cell. Mm-hmm. You were imprisoned, of course, for debt.
Right.
And weren't released until you'd paid off your debts.
Not a nice place to spend a lot of time.
No. And the reason we know this is a debtor's cell is because on here we have a message from J. Taylor from Measham for a £10 debt, 1807. And then we continue down the corridor, and this room here is the infamous, the condemned cell. A room where no light can enter. No window. You couldn't escape through the window. And a separate door, another doorway here.
Lots of etchings again on the door.
The week or the night, possibly, before your execution, you scratched a scaffold on the door and put your initials inside. You went tomorrow morning.
Representing the gallows.
Yeah. WM there. JG, James Gratian, hanged for burglary. IH, or could be JH, of course, because the I looked like a J. WH, and this incredible one here, Mr. Brown, one of 4 men hanged in front of this jail in 1817 for setting fire to haystacks.
What's here? What I'd like to do is see if we can verify that now in the cell next door, because if there's a line coming through the building in this direction, it should go all the way through past the kitchen. Okay, so if we come into the cell next door, which is the debtor's cell, we should find the line comes through the middle of here as well, and there indeed it is, straight through the centre of the cell. Now we're going to ask it whether it's a ley line or whether it's earth energy. So first off, is this a ley line? No, the rods have stayed straight, which is a negative answer. Is this earth energy? Yes, it is. So what it basically means is an earth energy line that runs through these cells and probably right through the building. Oh, and there we go again. So that's probably a ley line. Is this a ley line? That's strange. It's not. Is this earth energy? Now that is particularly weird. I've never in any venue I've found at the moment found 2 energy lines running parallel with each other so close together. That's very strange. And there we go. It's not quite as strong. The crossover of the rods was not quite as strong and as fierce as the other side. So I think there's probably less energy here. There is an energy, but not quite as powerful as over the other side. But certainly it would give substance to the apparition that's seen over here. We do tend to get these corroborated reports of apparitions appearing in all the positions where we found earth energy. So there does seem to be some sort of link between. And I personally feel that the apparition, if it appears, is drawing upon this earth energy to give it the strength to appear. And I think when the clairvoyants come in tomorrow, I'd be very surprised if they don't pick up on this corner, certainly the storeroom and the 2 cells that we've doused earlier.
I'm a Christian spiritualist, so I believe in the continuation of the human soul after physical death. So for me, all I'm interested in doing is being able to prove through the work that we do that that is true.
I'm the 7th child of a mother who was indeed a 7th child herself, and if you believe in some of the superstitions, then you will know that the 7 is of significance. So from a very young age, you know, I knew there was something a bit different about me. My birthday happens to fall on the 31st of October, which you know is All Hallows Eve, and I happen to be born just before midnight, so hence the witchy poo type thing has been attached to me all my life. I've got an energy now coming up the stairs. He's strong, he's really strong, but he's scared, he's absolutely terrified, but he's not going to show it. He's not going to show it, he's not going to show him. He's really, really steely strong, but I can feel his knees going, you know, he's buckling under his knees. He's Big Jim. I'm Big Jim. I'll show him how to do this. I'll show him how to do this. I can do this. But his knees are so weak, and he's trembling so bad he's got to clench his fists because he's so frightened, you know. He's really, really frightened inside. It's all bravado. I know what this place is, and I expected it, but I didn't expect to feel that. I didn't expect to feel that desperation.
I really get a very strong impression that somebody's actually would rather have died in here than faced whatever it was this person had to face, and I feel it's a male presence in here.
I've got loads of names. I've got Pete, I've got Will, Big Will, and I've got I've got somebody laughing. They're obviously insane.
Now there is a strong presence here. I feel it's a male presence, very strong presence, and he's a large man. I feel he's a large man, carries a fair bit of weight, and he's got the keys, so I know he's got the power around here, and I feel he's one of the jailers.
This was an entrance for despair. You know, this people came up here. I don't see anybody going back down. Do you understand? The people that came up here they never came back down. They just never came back down. It's just an amazing feeling.
Well, this place is highly active. I picked up on quite a number of spirits within the building. Some of them simple, some of them very emotional, very disturbed spirits.
I can't begin to describe to you the thoughts and feelings that came through. I could hear prayers, I could see it crying. At one stage I felt as I was going to lose control of my bowels. It affected my stomach, it affected every part of my body.
Also picked up on a jailer who's in the building. Quite a nasty character, very unpleasant. You wouldn't wanted to have met him on a dark night.
I lost all sensation in my legs. I felt my legs were going to collapse on me. It was just so strange, and I don't think we've had thoughts and feelings on other investigations, but I don't think I've ever been bombarded in such a small place, in such a small space, by so many thoughts and feelings in one go.
If the lights go off, it's only the reds, can you say it? Because the voice records on. Our clairvoyants have walked around the building now. They've had their first look and their first glimpse at the old jail. And they've come up with some very interesting points. When I dowsed the building, I found energy in certain parts of the building, and the same parts that I found the energy by dowsing, the clairvoyants have picked up on as having an energy. So that's a good start. They've also noted that the passageway, the main passageway, was extended and tends to go through the walls at both ends of the building. We now know from the archive research that the building did go further in both directions, so they were quite right in their assumption that these walls have been put up since and didn't form part of the original.